Big changes are happening at Wealth Minded MD. And in this special episode, Brittany and I sit down for an honest conversation about the podcast transition, what's shifting in our personal and professional lives, and the lessons we're learning in real time about growth, boundaries, and embracing change. Keep listening to hear what's in store. Hello, and welcome to the Wealth Minded MD podcast with your money best friends. I'm Dr. Alicia Taylor.
And I'm Dr. Brittne Halford.
And of course, we're here to help you build wealth and make good money decisions so you can create the life you desire with more control over your time.
Alicia, can we talk about life insurance for a second? Because I feel like this is one of those things that people either avoid or overcomplicate.
Exactly. And honestly, a lot of us think we need these big, complicated, expensive policies when in reality, most people just need a solid term life insurance policy that actually protects their family.
And that's why we love working with PKA Insurance Group. They're independent brokers, which means that they're not tied to one company. They shop across all major carriers to find you the best option.
And what I really appreciate is that they're not trying to upsell you. They'll actually tell you what you do need, what you don't need, which is rare in the insurance world.
Exactly. Whether you're getting coverage for the first time or you already have a policy, they'll review what you have and let you know if it's solid or if there's something better or more affordable out there.
So if you've been putting off life insurance or wondering if you actually have the right policy or if your current policy is a good fit for you, this is your sign.
Reach out to PKA Insurance Group at pkainsurance.com or call 1-800-258-1018 to get started. And don't forget to tell him that we sent you. Also, the link is right in the show notes for your convenience. So click the link and get started today.
Alrighty. Brittany, we're here for this kind of special episode. You've got some news you want to share. We've been holding our breath, waiting for you to release into the atmosphere what is going on. So yeah, tell us, what is going on in your life?
Yes, a lot has been going on. I have been blessed and busy. And so this is a new season, which I'm very grateful for, but also it's bittersweet. So big announcement, not to keep people hanging on, is I will be transitioning off the podcast for some time and pop in periodically just because life is getting really, really busy for me. As many of you know, have 2 kids that we talk a lot about on this podcast. Married, trying to keep that healthy, keep myself healthy. And then, we have purchased this laundromat, which is a beautiful blessing. And it is keeping me quite busy. So if you've seen any of the advertisements, it's not completely passive, people. And I knew that going in. So I had a whole strategy. So I knew that going in. But it's like I've filled my plate so full that the food is overflowing. And now I'm like trying to consume more and more and feeling quite expanded in the sense that I need to kind of remove some things from the plate. So it is very bittersweet.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is we got knocked off the plate. That's okay. That's okay. We're not taking it personally. Yes, there's a little angst.
Oh.
Okay. Feel some kind of way.
Don't.
I guess I should expect for you to choose your husband and your kids over me, but that's fine. We will, accept your request, even though I was kind of voluntold that you were going to step back. It's fine. Well, we want you to know that your voice is invaluable here on the podcast. I've loved podcasting with you. I love having conversations on finance with you. I've learned a lot from you. And although I will respectfully respect, I guess, your decision to spend more time with the man you married with and the kids that you helped create. And I will respect your decision to want to build wealth through other business ventures, I guess. But we are basically telling you have to come back on periodically. Do not forget about us, right?
Definitely.
But I am excited for you. I am very excited for you. Actually, I would love if you could share a little bit more about all of the things that you have been doing and what prompted the decision for the laundromat. Because for those who may not be aware, maybe there are people listening for the first time. You're a whole doctor. You see patients, you treat patients, you keep them from dying. And so that is important. You mentioned you're a mama, you mentioned you're a wife, you mentioned you're a business owner with the laundromat. But I think what you didn't mention is that you also have your own other businesses. You have a YouTube channel that I think is blossoming and growing. For those who weren't aware, feel free to check that out. And so just tell us a little bit about some of the things, all the millions of things that you have been responsible for doing.
Yes, Alicia, thank you. And Alicia, I just want to say, I know that this is not an easy transition. Like, this is not easy for me. This is something that I have enjoyed doing. I enjoy just engaging with you, laughing and learning from you, a lot of laughter, and also from our audience. So these decisions are difficult. And that's one of the things that I'm just considering now in the phase of my life, that some things are for a season. And just because you might partially close that door doesn't mean that it can't reopen. So thank you for giving me permission to come back, because I'm definitely coming back on the mic. And yeah, a lot is going on. There are so many things that I have prayed for that are now coming to fruition. And when I think about, I'm a Christian, so Ephesians 3:20, like exceedingly and abundantly beyond what you could imagine. And that is literally what is happening in my life. And I also am realizing at the same time that I believe that he can like restore my energy, but I am human. I am not a robot. And your girl got to sleep. I have to eat. I need to work out and care for the other relationships. And what I found is that I have not optimized enough. I have not optimized with either hiring people in the home. I have not optimized enough with using artificial intelligence to keep me healthy and well in a holistic perspective. We've talked a lot about different forms of wealth on this podcast. So not just the monetary, but also social, emotional, physical, and mental. And I want to be able to emulate what we're discussing on the podcast. So this will give me a little bit of capacity. Just I still have to eliminate some other things off of the plate while I'm still optimizing the other tools so that I can have more space. But yeah, it's been good. So YouTube have been monetized on YouTube. So that's great. I'm no longer making these videos for free.
We love a queen that can get paid for the work that she does. So I am very happy that the coins are rolling in. Now, they may still be coins, but we are praying for dollars and hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars and so on and so forth.
Amen. I am claiming that in the name of Jesus. And then so the laundromat. So it's really interesting, honestly. When I think about who I am as an individual, I would like to consider myself as a visionary, but I'm not. I am not a visionary. I think that what I am coming to find out as I have journeyed through life is I'm more of an executor, that I kind of take people's visions and plans and ideas and I help to bring them to fruition in a way that is impactful, in a way that is meaningful to the people around and is beautiful. And so with the laundromat, that was a vision, a seed that was planted by my husband, actually. So everyone's talking about boring businesses now, owning a physical space. And he sent me something on Instagram about, actually, it was a laundromat girl. So she was previously a nurse and she owned a laundromat. So she's talking about the cash flow. And then so I started to delve into that a little bit more. We read a book by Cody Sanchez about buying boring businesses. Then we identified a few laundromats that were kind of run down, but people were still there. And so that to me was a signal that this could potentially work. If you care about something, you're going to maintain it, right? And so it showed me that the owner was a bit distant. It was still operational, but it wasn't functioning well, and that it was an opportunity. So we started to think a little bit more about what would this look like to generate more cash flow? What would this look like to pass down wealth to our children? Because we know some people who have inherited businesses, this is a family-owned business. It's been in the family for 30 years. So what does this look like for us? And then we also saw potential for growth, because now in this era of convenience, people are not only just paying for Grubhub and Amazon, they're also paying for someone to pick up, wash, dry, and fold and deliver their laundry from their doors. So that potential was there. And then thinking about it from just like, okay, what does this mean for us? Yes, it could generate cash flow, but also how could we use it in other ways to help us with a problem that we currently have? Because it's not profitable now, to be 100% honest, right? We purchased a business that was run down, closed it down for 4 months. So we lost some of our previous customers, renovated it, and now we've been open for 3 weeks. So it's been quite busy. But with that strategic plan, I knew that with this new One Big Beautiful Bill and reinstating 100% bonus depreciation, that it could help us to offset our taxes today, because we could basically take all of the machines that we're purchasing and some of the other investments that we're putting into the business and then depreciate it 100% to help us with our tax burden. So that's the strategic move for year one. And it could help us with our W-2 taxes, because I am materially participating and working in the business, meeting that 500 hours per year.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
And sorry to interrupt you. I just was like burning inside of me. Is this similar to people who have reps status, real estate professional status, where, for those who are unaware, people who materially participate and are an active participant in real estate and meet the requirements of 750 hours or whatever the requirement is and spend more in real estate than they are in other ventures, they are able to write off some of their real estate losses from their active income as a physician. And so it drastically lowers their taxes because normally the money that you get from real estate is considered passive income and you can only deduct passive losses from passive income. And your doctor money is considered active income. So two different categories. And so it's hard to take advantage of all the tax benefits that may be available to you unless you are somehow able to turn your passive real estate income and losses into active real estate income and losses. And it seems like, if I'm understanding this correctly, you are able to do something very similar without necessarily real estate, but more with the laundromat, because now that you're materially participating, this is an active income source. And because it's an active income source, now you also have active losses, AKA the material and the supplies that you purchased. And so even though it costs money to buy the business, you can then write off that cost or deduct that cost from your active income that you and your husband have as physicians. Is that right?
That is 100% right. So, unlike real estate, we don't have to do the same kind of cost segregation study because we don't physically own the property. We're renting it from a landlord who owns kind of the complex that we're in.
So you own the business, you don't own the real estate land that the business is on.
Yes.
Got it.
I would like to own the real estate, like the land, but we don't. But we own the business. You know, there are things that will qualify for the 100% bonus depreciation, things that will not qualify. But all the big machines, so we purchased new washer and dryers for year 2026. All of that will be depreciated 100%. So throw out some real numbers for y'all people, okay? $330,000 in machines. So 100% of that will be deducted from our W-2 income. So say we make, to keep the numbers very simple, $340,000. We deduct $330,000, so we would only be taxed on $10,000. So this is going to present a huge opportunity for us because we have to do a few other maneuvers that would have increased our taxes in 2026. So now it's going to be as if we're tax neutral. So with those other maneuvers where we're moving some pre-tax accounts to now post-tax accounts, meaning that is going to trigger taxes, right? That's a taxable event. Now that will offset that taxable event and we'll be tax neutral on those conversions.
Gotcha. This is a philosophy question, and I think I know your answer, but I'm just curious. Do you think that it is important to really, really like and be passionate about the businesses that you take on? Or do you believe that if it's a business that you think you can do well, that can bring in a certain amount of money, then that's enough to make it worth it to pursue?
I think you have to have some level of passion. So for us, yes, the numbers, the maths, right? And I'm making the math. We got the strategy there, right?
I'm going to make that math. Okay, got it, noted.
We're going to be building cash flow. Like if this was not something that had the potential to build the cash flow, we wouldn't have pursued it.
Got it.
And there's a passion there because I'm a girl from Flint, Michigan. And although I don't recall during my childhood having to step into a laundromat because my parents, they couldn't afford their own washer and dryer or whatever, I know there are family members who have used laundromats. I know that where laundromats typically are positioned are in low income areas. And those low income areas are often Black and brown and people who have poor health literacy. So what we hope to do, and I haven't finished it, when you buy a business, it's first like moving into somebody's house with all their stuff in it. And then when you renovate a place, it's like moving into a new house and then trying to figure out what old stuff you want to keep and what you want to throw away. And then you decorate it, right? So the decoration part will come where what we hope to do is to build up the wellness from a holistic perspective of this community. Meaning financial wellness. We're going to equip it with books, easy to read books. I want to put a blood pressure cuff there because hypertension is a silent killer. And I want people to have access to it and measure their blood pressure and know what that means. A lot of our clients or customers are Spanish speaking and Haitian Creole speaking. So having this information, this health literacy information in all three languages is really important to us. Because as a laundromat owner now, we've recently encountered one woman. My husband's like, we're at the laundromat collecting coins and doing all the things with the kiddos. And he's like, don't you know your car's still on? She's like, oh yeah, I can't turn it off because if I turn it off, I'm gonna have to boot it and I don't have a boot. Like I don't have the person. And so that was one person. And then on that same day, we also met someone who was disabled and then his his mother left, but we were right across the street. And so we were able to serve them. And so just being able to serve a community that sometimes doesn't have other options, that has really compelled us. It helps us to know that even though we want to help people doing good with helping them, my husband's a mental health professional, and their mental health, and then also their physical health, more so for me, like we are now helping them to offset something else and to create a space that maybe they didn't have access to before, that looks clean, that looks safe, that looks like a place that you want to go to do a very mundane task that everybody has to do.
All right. Well, this is exciting. I mean, I'm very excited for you. And I love the fact that you are utilizing this business opportunity to also have an impact. I don't know if you've heard all the noise around Emma Greed and the Start With Yourself book and all of these things, right?
Yeah, we saw her here in Boston. She's fantastic.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I know everybody has their own opinion and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it just made me think about it because I think that one of the things that she advocates for or strongly talks about is the fact that oftentimes when you have women-owned businesses, they talk about the impact they want to have and they sometimes make profit in the backseat. It was just kind of like interesting to hear you talk about how, hey, I wouldn't be doing this business if it didn't make a profit, right? But while we're making that profit, I also want to have an impact. And so it just made me think of her. And so I think this is lovely. I'm very excited for you and hope that continues to grow and flourish and all of those things. I think you said a lot in there that I wanted to kind of emphasize for our audience. Number one is the opportunity to create generational wealth and family businesses. You know, people may have their own feelings about that, but I love that for you and for your family. I know for my family, we own a lot of land in Florida where my parents are from. And we have, as a family, discussed, do we want to do some real estate? One of my brothers is really into real estate. He's a real estate agent. He does a lot of contract work and all of that. And so we've thought about, do we want to build some apartment buildings? Do we want to sell it out? Do we want to build some single family homes? Some of my family members have a lot of experience building homes. And so my dad is on the brink of retirement. We're trying to push him over. And he's like, well, what would I do? And I'm like, Dad, what do you think about this new family business? And he didn't shut it down, which if you know my dad, that's a good sign. And so, as you are talking about the laundromat and all the things you want to be able to do, I'm thinking, man, I'm really feeling this push to really go down this family business route in terms of real estate and apartment buildings. And so I love that. And I think my takeaway is to be open to new ideas and new business ideas that maybe you don't have as much experience in the past. And so that's one of my takeaways, I think, from what you just said. Another thing that I took away was the need for automation, and that how sometimes as really smart and intelligent people, we have this idea of nobody can do things as good as we can and nobody can care about things as much as we do. And although both of those sentences might be true, it is also true that somebody else could do something good enough or well enough.
Mm-hmm.
And our hesitancy to outsource can sometimes be the thing that prevents us from growing at the pace that we desire. And I will say that one of the things I learned from working with you and that I've just observed from you is the fact that you are more willing to automate things and you are much better at delegating than I was before we met. And I think that that has helped not only you grow, but it's helped me grow as I've learned the importance of that, whether it's using different AI tools, learning different systems and technologies that might make it easier. I think initially I thought, I don't know this technology. I don't know this system. I don't know this program. And it's going to take me so much effort to learn it. I'd rather just do it the way that I know, because initially in the temporary, in the short term, it's faster for me to do what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that sometimes investing time to learn something new and being willing and open to utilize new technologies or AI tools, oh my goodness, now that I've created a system, I don't have to manually do every task myself. And now I can do so many more tasks. And now I can do so many more things. And although if I had done everything myself, I would have done things maybe a little bit different, I would have been a lot slower. And sometimes I'm the one that's holding me back from the progress that I seek. And so the act of delegation, the act of trying new tools, the act of utilizing AI might allow me to get further. And I think anybody listening to this, whether they want to start their own business or do more in medicine or what have you, I think anybody could take something away from that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Leisha. I really appreciate that. Along this journey, as you're talking about doing something new and starting something from scratch, maybe where you have little experience, that's what this journey has been. I've owned multiple types of businesses and I've operated them, but I've never owned a physical space. Also, the point about embracing the struggle to get to the point where you're like, I got to do something different. Now, let me figure out how AI can help me to get there. I think that struggle piece is really important because therefore you won't know how to train your AI tool or your employees, whoever you hire, if you first don't do it yourself. both of those pieces were critical to get me to the point where I am today, because when we purchased a laundromat, it was all broken down, as I mentioned. Is when you renovate a laundromat, you could just replace the floors, paint the walls, and put new machines in, which could work to generate more revenue, or you could build the business in a way that's more sustainable. So when I think about owning a laundromat, yes, I am materially participating on purpose, but it is also that we own a system. So we have employees, and then that system I have created intentionally. So when we did the renovation, guess what? The lights come on automatically. The doors open and close automatically. The water valve opens and closes automatically. So I don't want hot water heating overnight when nobody's using it. The temperature, the thermostat is set it and it's not, don't touch it. So the business can operate by itself. If one of my employees calls out sick, then it still opens and closes by itself and everything still runs automatically, even if I don't have an attendant there to help the customers or to do the wash, dry, and fold service. And another thing that we're going to implement that we haven't done yet, this is like maybe August, September. I'm waiting for the money to come in for us to do it. Is implementing laundry lockers. So after hours, people can drop off their clothes. They can pick them up after hours after work. So we're not missing that revenue for people who want to do drop off for wash, dry, and fold. So I say that to say, but we had to operate the business for 2 months and struggle with everything breaking down for me to identify exactly the pain points that we needed to implement and build into the business for it to be sustainable. The card system, we were emptying coins all the time. We're still emptying coins, albeit mainly because KJ really enjoys doing it and we can pay him to do it. And also that the kiosks are not working right now for the tap to pay, but they will eventually be working and we will have to empty coins less frequently. So I would say that this journey is one to bet on yourself. And that is something that I've learned from you. Girl, you know how to sell. You believe it. Okay, I can figure this out. I am a smart human being. I can figure this out. And if I can't figure it out, I'm going to find somebody who can figure it out for me. And I'm just going to pay them to do it. Okay. So I really have appreciated just learning that from you. It's just like that confidence. And once you have that self-belief, once you have that conviction, you can literally do anything. So I appreciate that we could share that message here on that podcast. We are also sharing what we've learned and kind of like bittersweet. It is not the last episode that I'm on the mic, but bittersweet.
Better not be. We're going to hold you to it. We're going to give you a couple months to get your laundromat up and running. And then,
Yeah. But, we have combined our powers. Like we saw that, okay, we are 2 Black women physicians in finance. Instead of seeing ourselves as competitors, we saw our powers together to be able to build something stronger. This journey has been really beautiful and I've learned a lot from you as well. So
oh, I
Yes.
appreciate that. I know we're running short on time, but one of the things that I wanted to say is another one of my takeaways has been learning when to collaborate and learning when to do it alone. One of the things that I actually took, speaking of Immigrate, that I took away from her was that sometimes as women, we create our own bosses and we delegate leadership tasks in the direction of our life, in the direction of our business, in the direction of our career to other people, and we don't take agency over it ourselves. And I think one of my defaults, if you will, has always been to collaborate with other people because I love working with other people. I've always felt like it makes things better, it makes things easier. Everything doesn't fall solely on me. And I think that that has served me well throughout my career. But I also think in some areas it has held me back because sometimes I rely on other people to see the vision that maybe I only have for certain things. And if other people don't share that vision, then I'm afraid to do it alone. And so one of the things that I think I'm learning is how to continue to keep that natural inclination to collaborate and partner and build things, but also to understand that not everything I'm going to be able to do with everyone. And that sometimes I'm going to need to take note of my quote unquote fear, of my apprehension, and say, I'm still going to push forward and do it, even if I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, or even if I don't know exactly what's next. And so it's learning when to partner and when to do it alone. So it's that balance that I think that I personally am learning, and when to prioritize, right? I've got 20 different things that I want to do. I'm great at 30 different things. All right, which 5 am I going to focus on for this month? And not being afraid to relay that information to other people. And so to summarize what I just said, which I know is a hodgepodge, is sometimes I want to collaborate and sometimes I need to be able to do it alone. But I certainly need to be able to prioritize the tasks that are most important for me at this particular phase of my life. And you the same, of course.
Yeah. We are very ambitious women, and a lot of our listeners are very ambitious, but you can't do everything at the same time, right? And so just prioritizing and feeling comfortable to say to other people, feel that you can't do that. Like, I once had space for this, but right now I need to prioritize other things. And although it may not feel good, it embraces what God can really grow for you in that moment in time, and also gives other people an opportunity to grow and develop in that way. All right. So, Leisha, I'm curious if you want to share any of the vision for the podcast moving forward. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's still in flux. It is still in flux. Let me just say that. But what I'm thinking right now is I'll do some solo episodes so you get to hear my voice. Our audience gets to hear my voice even more. I know that brings joy to their faces. And I'm also going to do some episodes with other physicians, some physicians who, like me and you, have a background and an interest and a passion for finance, and some physicians who maybe that isn't their background, but they have other things to add to various conversations, whether it's around family planning, whether it is around, big purchases and life changes, whether it is around contract negotiation, travel. I'm super passionate about travel and finding great travel deals. And so it'll be a hodgepodge of everything. I think eventually we will have a consistent co-host. Maybe we'll bring you back in periodically. Once the laundromat gets up and running, we are speaking that into existence. We're speaking into existence a profitable business venture for you. But it is in flux. But I am excited about what's next. I'm opening my mind to new possibilities. And so, yeah, the audience will have to stay tuned. And hopefully they stick with me during this journey. I'm sure my first maybe solo episodes, they'll leave a lot to be desired. But hopefully people can still get something out of it. And I'm sure, like anything, I'll get better as I go. But yeah, it's in flux. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. And Leisha, you are a veteran at podcasting, right? So you got all the wisdom. And I really have appreciated how you take the complex topics and concepts and you just break it down. Okay, let's go back to the basics. I want to make sure that everyone is starting from the same place. So let me update you and then you take people forward with you, which is really, really phenomenal to hear because sometimes people are left looking stuff up and Googling. So I'm excited to listen to the podcast on my runs. I'll be preparing again for the 10-mile race with my dad in August. So
Oh, yeah.
yes, I will have you in my ears.
Sounds great. Sounds great. All right. Well, it's been great having this conversation with you. I know this is a see you later, not a goodbye.
That's right.
And we are embracing that and wishing the best for you and all of the new opportunities that are available to you now. And for our audience, thank you for bearing with us and listening to us and being avid supporters. Please share the podcast and rate it with other people that you know. Bear with me as I do a few solo episodes and some episodes with some amazing people coming up. And yeah, I can't wait to come back to you again next week.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Brooke. I'm recording a little disclaimer for my mommy, Dr. Brittne Halford, and her friend, Dr. Lisa Taylor. Just so you know, they're not financial advisors, tax professionals, lawyers, or financial planners. Everything you hear is for education and entertainment. It's not strict financial advice, So use your best judgment, chat with a tax professional, and all those other people that you need to talk to. Thanks for tuning in today. Keep cruising on your journey to wealth and wellness. Bye-bye.